Hello, hello. Welcome to the Daily Political. Let me pull my microphone. Welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. I am here every single day of the year to take your political questions out of the chat. Just leave your questions in the chat before I come on. We have epic troll slayers who keep us safe. And we have got a fantastic community here because of you. You've been so kind to each other. You have been so kind to us. Holy buckets. Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello, you can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there. Miss Sarah is here.
Hello. Hello.
We have a special bonus Sarah Tuesday.
Yes. And I'm in my early 80s Dolly Parton meets Lucille Ball meets Chappell Roan era. So I want to sing like Hot to Go and Islands in the Stream while doing slapstick. It's a thing. So,
well,
yes.
That Island in the Stream, that is who we are.
Yes.
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, goodness.
So you can find what you're interested down there. You can watch back on like 1.25 speed, which I do a lot on YouTube. Yes, exactly. So I didn't know you'd have Lucille Ball as a guest today. Sarah's so fabulous. Speaking of fabulous, two things. One, someone just sent me this. I got some happy mail. And they sent me this gorgeousness.
Oh, you're extra happy.
Yes, I am. I haven't opened it yet. I all I did was cut the thing right there. But I'm about to open this because you know the smell when you first open a container of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah.
There's still some nice smell, but there's a box inside the tin. There's a box in the tin.
What's in the box?
See, and the other thing is you have to understand is I reuse these boxes, like all of my in all of my office supplies and stuff. I have a bunch of the Twinings Earl Grey tins with labels on the top of them to keep all the little bits and pieces.
You're so cool.
Oh, so I know I've never had this, and I need to thank you. I don't want to say anybody's real name out loud because some people they're not comfortable with that. So I just wanted to, you know who you are. Thank you. The other thing I wanted to say is, if you have been kind enough to send me something, you may think I am the most ungrateful blankety blank to ever live because I have not sent you a thank you note. Oh my gosh, was I raised in a tree? For those of you who've been here for a long time, I just want to remind people that, okay, I'm having trouble here. I just want to remind people that I used to not show my face on camera. And it was because I really couldn't, because my anxiety was so high and I was so beaten down and traumatized, basically. And it took me a long time to be able to show my face to you. It's been a long, those of you who've been watching for a long time, this is a long time coming. I started my channel in middle of 2018. So this is a big deal. And, but I still, when I sit down, and I'm okay now with like the group of you or in Patreon, what have you, but one-on-one, when I sit down and I'm trying, I mean, even now I'm like getting hot just thinking about, reaching out to anybody individually. I get really bad anxiety. And the thing is I am so grateful. Okay, I'll stop there.
You're good. You're good. You're okay. But also I want to note, because there was something else I was going to say, that even if you were going to Amazon's system, anything that has been shipped in the last 2 or 3 weeks, the little bar, the pack, some, not all, some come with a little code, and you scan it and it lets you do a thank you that way. Those haven't been working. That doesn't give you the option to thank anybody. So
really?
if you,
I've been collecting those slips. I have them. I have, seriously. I've been
in the last 2 or
them.
3 weeks, anything that's come in, they don't work. I mean, you can go to the thing, but it doesn't give you the option to say thank you. So,
oh man,
while we're having this discussion, I want to use the opportunity to say thank you to anybody who has sent anything to us over any period of time. You were all amazing. But especially in the last couple of weeks, if you haven't gotten anything, you were appreciated. It just don't work.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man. Yeah. No, and I've got a pile. I hold on to them. I've been holding on to them for years. If you sent me something and there was a slip, I've got it. I hold on to it, and I've got it right here. I know exactly who sent me what and when. I save every slip. I know what goes with what, and I'm so grateful. It's really hard. So anyway, we'll move on to the readings and stuff. I've put a tea bag in. Thank you, Jeanette. Yes, I showed my face and sang. Well, everybody was really upset. So all right.
Y'all. Big y'all. Big y'all. Okay, we have some stuff to discuss today. So, now just because I'm here, that doesn't replace tomorrow. You will have 2 Sarahs this week.
Yay!
So
that makes me happy.
Yay. Joyce, I thought it was Tuesday. Am I off?
It's Tuesday.
Joyce, it's Yay Sarah Monday. Is it Monday or Tuesday? Okay. Anyway, but so whatever we don't get today, we will get to tomorrow. So last week, Trump said at a rally that if he lost, it was the Jewish community's fault. If I don't win, you can blame the Jews. I don't need to make that voice wearing this wig. Anyway, last Sunday, I've included a link to the article and the video. Okay. Last Sunday, he did an interview where he discussed his plans of mass rounding up, holding, and deportation of immigrants, and noted that they have or will have serial numbers.
No.
Serial numbers.
No. Oh, no. Oh, hell no. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. The question that I wanted to ask was not fit for print. So it just says, what in the... I'm just going to allow cards to say what I can't. So
yeah, and they're kind people, like Sabine in the chat. People who are saying, yeah, it happened. We're not making this up. There are receipts. There are links there. Other people heard it. I'm okay.
Yeah. Lisa, he did this interview with a woman on YouTube. It's a YouTube right-wing channel. There's a couple of places that I've picked up on it. Like I said, there's a link to the article, and this particular interview was done in 4 parts. It's part 2, and it's within the first minute and a half. So it's in. I've got the link to the article and the video because I had to go and dig. I was like, really? Like, now he did not mention that the serial numbers would be tattooed. I think that he knows he could not get away with that. However, serial.
The one thing I absolutely lose my ever loving stuff over is flat out Nazism. That is flat out Nazism.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is just the modern day, what we've earned and gone through since World War II. Nah, refusal. All that liberal nonsense. There are so many stupidly rich people in this country, including that blankety blank Trump himself, even if he's a giant con man. He's living in the lap of luxury. His cronies are living in the lap of luxury. And they have the audacity to talk about people who have nothing, who are just working hard and doing the best they can. 1930s Germany much? Judgment is in the middle. I'm furious. 3 of Wands. Waiting for his ship to come in. What ship do these idiots think is going to come in? Honestly. That suddenly there's going to be some stupid uprising? Some Charlottesville blankety blank? Temperance. Major temperance. I'm not even going to say my usual get stuffed.
Yeah. And guys, I am quoting. I'm not paraphrasing. I am, because the woman was asking him about the logistics of it. She said, what's going to you've got this plan, and if you have this plan, the first time that it's on, that there's a picture of a woman, because you've got people who have been here a while who have children that are U.S. citizens. And so the first time there's images or video of a mother being pulled away from her children, you realize it's going to stop. Like, there's going to be enough uprising. He's like, yeah, we have to be very careful in how we show that and what pictures we allow, and what we, because the media will get on that, and the radical left. But we're going to use this part. Hang on, I'd have to pull up the exact article, but he said that the police.
Why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Hang on, that part is on the video.
Is this gonna stick? Please tell me. Because let me tell you, if that's the case, I am the radical left. That's me. Hi, radical left here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
The way you phrased it was exactly right. Talking about, if there's a picture of a mother being pulled away from her child, you put one wrong person onto a bus or an airplane, and the radical left lunatics will make it sound like the worst thing that has ever happened. But we are getting the criminals out, and we're going to do that fast, and we know who they are. The local police know their names, and they know the serial numbers and everything about them.
They know their serial numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Serial numbers. Mm-hmm. They don't have serial numbers. But that's
Lewis
how he thinks of it.
Mm-hmm. Lewis put Matt Owl did a blog on it. So the mainstream media is picking up on it. Yeah.
Every one of them. Every single person who is remotely okay with this needs to be feeling like, yeah, like those idiots at Charlottesville who the people surrounded them and were like, no. They burdened the Kings of Pentacles, the Knights of Pentacles. No. No, go away. They think this is some big fantasy win for them by going after the most vulnerable people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a con. Knight of Wands. Oh, but it's so much fun to feel superior by looking down on somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's the biggest of them all. Again, attacking those who are the poorest and the most vulnerable. How's the country going to feel about this? Or once again is, oh, Trumpy, he's just so lovely. He says what we're thinking. Oh, God, really? Oh, look, it's my card, and I don't like this. It's my white supremacy card. I didn't have a white supremacy card until these jerks.
Yeah.
The Sun card was lovely. Six of Swords. Yes, deport them. Vote. 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 Vote for Democrats. Please, I'm begging you. I'm on my knees. I'm begging you, vote for Democrats.
Mary Meyer, I'm not sure, but his father liked to wear sheets and go to meetings. So do with that information what you will. Was arrested at a meeting.
Actually, he wasn't. He wasn't arrested, is my understanding. He was with the group, but he slipped away. But he was very openly there, and there were a lot of people there who were arrested. It's why we don't have the official paperwork of his.
Right. But there's enough eyewitnesses that put him there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he was apparently very open about it. Ratu, yes, his father loved a good white sail. Yes. And
Egyptian sheets. Yeah.
Yeah, actually I would say it isn't they don't love a white sail, they love a brown sail.
All right.
I need some more light. And
yay. All right, so moving on.
Please.
Oh, we have a lot of stuff today that's going to make the flames come out your face. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I have good tea.
Right?
Smells good.
Amanda wants to know, do you see Trump or his organization facing legal consequences for the large sums of money he siphoned away from the RNC?
Blankety blank, 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 blank. Hold on to Shake It Off. Sang Taylor Swift. Okay. Shake it off. Ooh, 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 ooh. And to the fella over there with the big stupid hair.
That's right. That's right.
Jump off of a pier. You can splush.
Long walk, short pier.
Yes. Splush.
Splash.
And the fella over there with the heck of dumb hair. What am I reading on? Large sums of money, siphoning.
He siphoned from the RNC, yeah.
Okay, what I've got here is adding insult to injury.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of Republicans around the country who could really use that money. Oh, well. Mm-hmm. Aren't there supposed to be some kind of campaign finance laws in place? I don't know that there are.
They're supposed to be.
They're supposed to be, but I don't know that there's a law against this, because I'll get to that in a second. And Trump, just like usual, things that we consider what would be normally the smart thing to do, or no. He does what he wants. There's the big con. There's the thief card. And he gets away with it because he's the star. And unless the Republicans en masse just suddenly decide that they're going to hold this jerk
Revolt.
accountable or
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
revolt. He's the head of the ticket.
All right.
Yes, old silver. At least it wasn't our money. Thank heaven.
There you go. And then in immediate news, when speaking to a group of farmers, Trump threatened to raise the cost of taxes to John Deere by 200% if elected, which would basically triple their price. Since Deere manufactures some of its parts in Mexico. We're not going to do this. We're going to bring it back. Blah, 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 blah. So basically, he told the farmers, if you elect me, your equipment will be more expensive. So will this turn the farmers against him, since ultimately that cost will be turned back on them? They're going to be the ones having to absorb the cost of the raised tariffs if idiot is elected.
I'm getting that farmers have a lot in common with who am I thinking of? We're talking about the farmers. They have a lot, the evangelicals. That there are definitely people thinking about it and realizing, okay, we have a problem here. This is not good. This is going to hurt us. They're like, okay, we need to use our brains here. We need to use our good judgment. But some of the people are still, the people are going to go to his rallies. They're still MAGA judgment. Somehow he'll take care of us. Benefit of the doubt. And with him, it's going to be just one big party, and everything's going to be better, because the worst thing that ever happened to our country was Joe Biden. The borders are wide open.
Interplanet Janet, go get safe, sweetheart. You can catch us on replay. She has a tornado warning. Go get safe. Alexa, thank you so much. Alexa had a contribution. It was very, very sweet.
Thank you. I'm sorry I missed it.
Oh, you're good. And did we see Rhonda earlier? Rhonda had
yes, I did. I thanked her at the beginning.
Sorry.
Also, I just want to throw this in there. I didn't mention at the beginning that I meant to. What happened yesterday? When I had Spider-Man on my roof.
Yes, blue collar Spidey.
Blue collar Spidey. No, but seriously, there was a man walking around on my roof, and I showed at the beginning him climbing the ladder and then walking around on my roof. Okay, there are 4 entrances to the attics. Because this is a Cape Cod style, I don't even think there is access to the absolute apex of the roof, but there's not a lot of space up there. So then you have the rooms that have windows that stick out, like Cape Cod style. And so the attics are the empty spaces between, like, where the walls of the room end and the end of the roof end, if that makes any sense. So they're all wedge shaped. So all the attics, and there are 4 of them, and they're probably connected in, like, there's a chance if something got in one, it could go up and over, but we're not 100%. Okay, whatever. So at this moment, all 4 of the doors to those attics are taped shut, because I have taped them shut all the way around and at the bottom. And it's going to be thousands of dollars, because apparently, you know how we had a squirrel, right? And we saw the squirrel. And then I heard scratching and movement. behind the door, and the cats were going nuts outside this little door, the little attic door, right? Well, we had a professional over yesterday.
Yeah,
and
we like professionals.
Yeah, we do. We do. We have bats. This is not, look, I don't want to live in All Creatures Great and Small. I really don't. I'm not, I did not sign up. I'm not Dr. Dolittle. I did not sign up for, it's going to be expensive, but I don't care. No, you're not drinking my tea, you big goofball. I don't care how much it costs, because there's also a cutoff date in October, on October 15th, because bats are federally protected. And if you have bats in your house, as of like October 15th, you have to leave them in your house until March 15th. So we need to get on this.
Yep.
Yeah. No, look. And if
bats in the wild are fabulous.
No, not in the wild. Well, bats, yes, bats in the wild. Bats who are raised by humans, who don't have diseases, are the cutest things. They really are sky puppies. What are you? Did you find it? What did you find? A leaf? He found a dead leaf on the plant. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so yeah. So now I've got to get everything out, and they've got to. Oh, and just this is a little bit of trivia for you. When you have droppings from bats somewhere, you can tell it's a bat, not something else, because it glitters. I kid you not.
It's Colin poo.
Because they eat so many bugs, and they can't fully digest the carapace, the whole thing. Yeah, it's glittery. And then the guy, he had gloves on, and he picked up one, and it crumbles immediately. So yeah, but it glitters.
It's like Twilight bats. Sparkles. It's the fluorescence. Okay.
All right. Anyway, so I've got so much. Yeah, it does. That explains the vampire sparkling and the sun, says Bratu. Yes, Edward Cullen, he ate too many bugs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
when I'm not around as much, and I'm letting things slide that I don't normally, that's because I've got to move all kinds of stuff out of these rooms. They're going to put a one-way door up where they think the bats are getting in, that if they go out, they can't get back in. They leave that for a couple of weeks, and then make sure everything's okay. They seal that up. Matter of fact, they're going to be sealing up things all over the roof that are and then they're going to come in, and they have to clean the attics and disinfect. Yeah. So did the squirrel get caught? No, I got the squirrel out. The squirrel has gone on.
Humanely. He went on.
Oh yeah, no. We finally trapped him in this room, and I pulled the screen off the window. Yeah, and closed it in, and put towels down around the door out there and everything. And he just made his way around, and he just climbed out the window and just went off his merry little way. Oh yeah, yes, and it's very dangerous. Liberace bats, yes, Carmen, exactly. And yes, Carol, it's dangerous. Yeah, it's very dangerous. So, and Nettie, it is going to be expensive. So anyway,
all right.
I just wanted to let everybody know what happened yesterday. That's why I never got post-production done. Why I'm going to be in and out from creative sprints and what have you, because I'm having to make a lot of space in the basement, throw a bunch of stuff out, move a bunch of stuff, wash a bunch of stuff. Here we are.
Yeah.
So just letting you know. Yep, I know. Hold on. Kelly,
All
back
right.
to Halloween. Yes. And yes, in my belfry. Okay.
I believe in you, and I believe that this is going to be okay.
Okay, Summer Virgo, just so you know, they don't all have rabies. And we're just gonna think positively.
Yes.
And like I said,
Yes.
everything's taped off and everybody's okay. And we have professionals who are gonna deal with this and clean up the droppings and sanitize everything. So we're gonna think happy thoughts.
Yes.
And move on. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I will note that you need buckbeak in the attic. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Wait. Sorry. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Kelly. You're very sweet. If I wish I was closer, I'd help you. Oh, bless you. Thank you.
All right. Well, next, this is an interesting one. Velda Ray, thank you for reminding me of this. I saw this yesterday, but questions were full and I'd forgotten about it this morning. But okay, so there is, and when people file discovery, all right, and whatnot, the brief that talks about, that gives the summation of everything that they're going to give for evidence, there's usually a 45-page limit on that. All right, like you got to be creative, be very to the point. Well, obviously, that's not going to work for our dear Jack because there's literally just so much stuff. So much stuff. So, Mr. Smith has filed a request with Judge Chutkan to allow his brief to be 180 pages instead of the 45 to see if he can go over the limit. Because he's got some stuff. He has, yes. So yeah, how's that going to go? How's that going to go with Judge Chutkan? Is she going to allow Jack his and a lot of that he says a lot of that would have to be sealed because there's a lot of stuff in there that is not necessarily for public view at this time. There's a lot of sensitive stuff, but overall, it has to be 180 pages.
I thought that she already agreed to that.
Well, no, but the 180, but the new stuff in this particular thing, he needs the whole thing to be 180 pages, and he needs it, and some of that the public can't see. Will she agree for him to do the 180 pages? So.
Oh yeah.
Yay.
Legal decisions, yeah. Of course, the other side, they'll throw everything they can at it. But there's a lawyer. What he has is important information, can do some damage legally. Is she going to allow it? Big old temperance. Death card. Now, on the one hand, I would say, just on face value, that temperance would be, no, it has to be a certain length only in the death card, so you can't do it. But this is major arcana. And it's coming after a lot of legal pain. 10 of Swords. Chutkan telling Smith, you can't file the whole 180 pages, would not be worthy of a 10 of Swords.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's what I'm getting.
Oh, goodness. Yay. Okay. Now, at 35 even, All right. So I'm just going to sort of explain this, how you and I had this conversation this morning. Most of us here are old enough to remember Oliver North in the Iran-Contra hearings back in the day. Many, many moons ago. But one thing that I remember from that is he was being grilled about his personal expenses. And at the time, he had like and this is 80s money, like a tens of thousands of dollars security system that he put on his house. And they were like, why do you need this? Like, what is so important that you would need this amount of security? And his exact response was Osama bin Laden. And this is back in the 80s. Okay. Now, keep that. This is sort of the same vibes. So, Mitt Romney thinks we should take Trump at his word concerning his promised retribution of his enemies if he got in power. Romney notes that he has nothing to hide and would be safe, but then wonders how far Trump would go. I've got 25 grandkids. He said, how am I going to protect 25 grandkids, 2 great-grandkids? I've got 5 sons, 5 daughters-in-law. It's like we're a big group. Apparently, Romney himself spent a small fortune after January 6th on personal security systems and whatnot for his family. When pressed on if Trump would use his executive powers, especially after the SCOTUS ruling, he replied, I think he has shown by his prior actions that you can take him at his word, so I would take him at his word. So the question is Romney being paranoid, or is this something other politicians should be wondering about and working harder to ensure that Trump never takes office again?
Well, that I can't read on because they should.
Yes. Well, what would the question be here?
Well, let me just read on this situation and see what we've got.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Mayonnaise.
Mr. Deal, they're going to be doing that. That's part of what the whole sealing of stuff off. They're going to handle all that. Thank you, though.
Hi. I'm not getting a reason to panic here. Would Trump do it? Yes. Would he be attacking all kinds of people? He does that anyway. But he would need to do some real damage. He would need the institutions behind him, and he doesn't have the magic to do it. He doesn't have the poof, the power, yeah. I'm not getting you need to worry because he's not going to get into power is what I'm getting.
Okay. Well,
how's things?
How's your mama, man? All right. At 3820, Melanie Rollins has a question. I would like to check in on Doug and Gwen, which the spouses for Harrison WALZ, to see how they are holding up. They've been thrown into this whirlwind campaign, of which they're probably stepped to the front line of which they've proudly stepped to the front line to defend our democracy. So how are the spouses holding up on Team Harris WALZ?
Better than Usha.
Yeah, I would.
All right, Doug. And Gwen, is it?
Yes.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's disruptive. It's people coming and going, and you don't really have the power. Your spouse does, and it's everything becomes about them and about the policy and about your whole life becomes about this. For Doug, he just thinks the world of her. Just look at her.
It's adorable.
Isn't she great? She's just the greatest. Find you a man who looks at you the way that Doug looks at Kamala.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oops, cards down. This is ongoing. This is just a ramp up of what was already there. And he wants to help her carry the burden. So that's good. Now, hang on, cards went flying. This is obviously more disruptive for Gwen. And I don't know.
She's been the governor's wife for 4 years, so
yeah, but this is a whole different thing. I don't know what order these cards were in. I think she's what it feels like is she's doing her best to keep the kids okay, the school, her husband, and all of the bazillion people who end up being around your spouse in a situation like this. The attacks are brutal.
Yeah.
And the attacks, the verbal attacks on her kids are brutal.
Yeah, that's where I would lose my mess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm.
However, I think part of it, she's like, I just have to get through to November. And at least, it's not like everything will be quiet, but then it's okay. Then things settle down. Potentially we move to DC, we move into this place, and we have things to do, but it's not this traveling around the country and I go with him and on and
Right.
on that level of, we can actually have something home-like. So I think that it's like, it's not forever. I think she's just holding on.
This amused me. Secret Antifa plan to destroy the GOP. Step 1, do nothing as the GOP implodes from within. Step 2, milkshakes.
Are they bringing the boys to the yard? What are those for?
Oh, they're just nice. They're just nice.
Okay. Just nice.
It's like just like the little calendar. It's been made into a cross stitch pattern, and I've almost made it a few times just because it's adorable. But it's like the gay agenda, and it's a little weekly calendar, and it's like, Monday, be gay. Tuesday, tacos. Wednesday, be gay. It's just tacos. So yeah, it's just, yes. Y'all are so sweet. Thank you. It was a gift that I am so thankful for.
And thank you for the tea. It's quite good.
Yes. All right. Bum, bum, bum.
And I love the tin. Love the tin.
Yes, it's awesome. And you'll reuse that forever, ever.
Yes. I've even joked that because I want to be cremated, I was like, do you have to, is anybody going to need an urn? I mean, you could just, I've got these like big tea tins. You could just pop me, just have them put me in a tin and seal it up. I'm not going to have an urn. I'm going to have a tea tin. That's fine.
That works. It's fabulous.
Oh, Melissa, thank you. You're very sweet.
Oh. All right.
Me and Earl Grey.
Right. Oh, Doug, you're so sweet. My gay agenda: live life and be a Sarah.
Oh.
Okay. 4410. Sharon Rice wants to know, will Speaker Jeffries, I like the sound of that. I like the cut of that jib there. Will Speaker Jeffries remove the one member allowed to bring a vacate of speakership, thanks Kevin, rule when he steps into the seat? Reverse it back to however many were needed.
Well, it doesn't automatically carry over, is my understanding, that each situation is different. Each negotiation is kind of negotiated from scratch, but I don't know that for certain.
Sorry. Alma, I love you.
That was good.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Sorry.
And thank you, Jennifer. It's awful, but I'll get through it because I have friends. I have good people. Thank you. Oh, Judy. Oh,
That's fabulous. That is fabulous.
yeah. Yeah, that was really stupid that McCarthy did that, but he was so desperate.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to get rid of the Democrats don't want to get rid of Jeffries. Ace of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Hanged Man, Nine of Pentacles. This feels like on the right, them eating their own, metaphorically, of course. Yeah, the Democrats are here just like, what? That was really dumb. Okay. Yeah, they don't want to get rid of him.
Very cool.
Oh, Doug, gotta go. We'll follow up and play back tonight. Time to work. I've sat in the parking lot long enough. You're very sweet to do that. Thank you.
Oh. All right. I think we're going to do one more question, and then you and I had something else we were going to discuss towards the end.
Yes.
So, and then everything else
graphic.
that's here will be carried over till tomorrow, and we will talk about it tomorrow because I'm going to be here. We're going to get it.
Oh, so we're going to do this now? Good. We're
going to do one more question, and then that. So,
right.
what I want to look at, because this is sort of a good, yeah, we'll do this one. All right, at 4720, Alexa Gibson says, I pray every day for peace here and around the world. Could we see peace in the next 5 to 10 years? Are we going to see peace, at least as much peace as we can get soon? Things be more peaceful, rather.
So 2025 through 2030.
Yeah.
Good news is
I think you froze for a second.
Yeah, I lost internet for a second. I'm sorry.
You're good. So the good news is
I'm getting a hermit card. So that's in there, but there's also quite a bit of aggression. Let me peace over the next 5 years, because I know there's some gnarly astrology. Apparently, the 2030s are supposed to be quieter astrologically, but the second half of the 2020s is supposed to be thick.
Well, that's fun.
Well, no, you know, forewarned is forearmed.
This is true. And at this point, we're pretty much used to living through an
all right.
random.
For what it's, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm not getting tower, devil, I'm not getting all of that. I am getting that the patriarchy is not going to go down quietly. But there's lots of prosperity in different parts of the world, fighting for human rights, some success for human rights. Women are going to get some of their power back in this country, and we are in a good position to lead the way. These are good cup cards. That's a good thing. yeah, it's just Pluto, as it plows through Aquarius, it's going to kick up stuff. It's going to, it's, how it is.
That's a good seg.
Oh, it is. It is. But no, Pluto and Aquarius is going to kick up stuff, and we're going to have issues with technology. We're going to have issues with different ways that cruel people can attack others. But if you think about it, even right now, we're so much better off than humans were 20,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Where you were constantly terrified of wild animals and other clans and all of this. And I mean,
toilet paper without splinters exists.
There you go. There's that too. So being here and being able to have this conversation and having a cup of tea, tea's from the other side of the world, So
yes.
But here's to peace.
Absolutely.
Spread through the entire world forever.
All right.
Well, so I did want to say that if you are, if you are someone who is like, I'm just here for the politics, I don't want to hear anything else, then we're done for today. And thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
You're not alone.
And we'll be here tomorrow.
Yes, you're not alone. We are in this together. There are good days ahead, and I hope you have the most wonderful rest of your day. If you are, you want to kind of know what's going on more in the realm of legal stuff and
pop culture,
but yeah, this is a big deal. So Sarah has quite a fair amount of knowledge about the music industry and who knows what from where to she's an Aquarian, and they love that whole 6 degrees of, which explains with at the studio with the just all the so she was explaining to me, and so I made a graphic. Dun, dun, dun. And I'm going to lean outward because it will be in the middle here, because this whole mess with Sean Combs is a mess. Big mess. Huge, massive mess. And so I made this.
Yes.
And so Sarah's going to help explain what this is and why you should care.
So we were having a discussion yesterday, and I was talking about the different stuff and the different things that have come out. And Sebastian says, "Oh, we need a chart." And I was like, "It's going to be a little convoluted." Yeah. Oh, hang on. We're getting there, everybody. Hold up. So, what you need to know: Sean Combs is in prison for racketeering charges, for charges of human trafficking, child trafficking. It's a lot. It's so bad that he was refused bail. He offered $50 million, was turned down. He offered $100 million, was turned down. It's not, yeah. So he had parties.
Didn't he just?
They confiscated over 1,000 bottles of baby oil. That's all you need to know.
They were called.
Well, you also need to know. Yeah, they're called freak-offs. But you also need to know that Sean Combs is also one of the most paranoid people you will ever know. Meaning that he had videos. The police also, when they seized the bottles of baby oil, when they did, I don't know if you guys remember when they did those raids on him a few months back, they got, they found not only servers of videos, but cell phones full of videos, because people would be looking around the room and not see cameras. What they didn't realize is that the security people would have throwaway cell phones in their hands looking like they were just playing around on it, but they were actually recording everything. So yes, Usher has deleted his entire Twitter. This is correct. But you also have to know there are two different kinds of parties that he had. There are regular parties, and then there are the freak-offs. Now, here's the thing. I am of the opinion that if one just showed up to a regular party, that does not necessarily mean that they did everything else. The Harry and William, I think they showed up to a party because they were pictured arriving and then leaving like a couple of hours later. These freak-offs took place over days. They literally, for recovery, I know, I'm sorry. I'm trying to explain it. I know. At the last day, people were hooked up to IVs because they were that malnourished and for recovery. So let's keep all this in mind. So what we have here is a chart of who is who in the late 90s and early 2000s and up to current hip hop and rap scene. Okay.
What we know and what's alleged.
Yes. So what we know, okay, Suge Knight ran Death Row Records. It's very top, right?
I can't reach it, but he's up there.
Yes. So Death Row Records was the home of Tupac, the home of Snoop, for a while, the home of MC Hammer. That was a very weird time in music when he was doing gangster rap. It was a thing. Yeah. Anyway, so but Suge Knight ran Death Row Records. Sean Combs ran Bad Boy Records. Bad Boy Entertainment turned into Bad Boy Records. Now, Death Row Records was a West Coast California label. Bad Boy is a East Coast New York label. Jay-Z, along with Damon Dash, which is up here by me, formed and ran Rockefeller Records, right?
Which is in the middle.
Yes. And that's also New York based. And then Birdman ran Cash Money, which is based out of New Orleans, right? Still exists. James, no, there's stuff going on in all genres. It's not just rap. And I need to. Nasty people exist everywhere. Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein, are examples that it's just, we're putting it in a chart so it's easier to see where people fit. This is not, right. We are not talking smack. This is, no. I don't want people to get the wrong idea that we're just dumping on hip hop or rap or whatever. Okay. Yes, Brad too. Cat Williams has been warning people for 4 years. Yes. Okay. So now, where to start? Okay. We're just going to start with Tupac. Okay. So Tupac was killed in 1996. All right. He was killed in Vegas. He was shot and killed in Vegas. Last year, finally, after all these years, they made an arrest in his killing. Not the guy who they say actually shot him. That person is now deceased. But this other gentleman whose name I cannot remember right off the top of my head. But this man is a paranoid dude and has receipts. Of course, if I'm going to be involved in a high profile something, I'm going to have cover my behind receipts too. It's just what one does. So now this person alleges that he has records and proof that Diddy paid $1 million for Tupac to not be here anymore. Now, this is all in court papers. So this isn't me just saying that this is in court papers where this alleged thing has, Now, that's up for a jury to decide. I'm just
Right.
going to say,
Exactly.
personally, it's not
An
outside the realm of possibility. Yeah.
Personal opinions. We have
Yes.
opinions. Everyone's got their opinion. That's all we're doing. Okay.
Yes.
So we're telling you what is known, what is alleged, and what is opinion.
Okay. Yes. So shortly after, now Tupac had a beef with Biggie. That was his big rival, right? So East Coast, West Coast, right?
Biggie's down here.
Biggie Smalls, yes. So Biggie Smalls was signed to a 2-album deal with Bad Boy Records. Okay. So his first record was done and it was released and it was fabulous, highly acclaimed, wonderful. His second record was recorded, was about to be released. They were hyping it up, right? Now, fact, not too long after Tupac passed, just a few weeks, no more than like 2 or 3 months. I'd have to go back and look because my brain can't hold everything as much as it used to. Biggie was also assassinated. Okay.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's a fact.
Right.
Okay. So now, conjecture in the music world is that Sean Combs was responsible for that too. P. Diddy. Yeah. So the man has so many nicknames. Puffy, P. Diddy, whatever. We're just going to call him Sean Combs. That's the name his mama gave him. So anyway. So Combs is allegedly, according to conjecture in the community from people who have been around, responsible for that too. Now,
why?
That'll come out in the wash. The reason being is that Biggie was allegedly going to be leaving Bad Boy. He had done his 2 records. He was out. Combs was not going to lose his cash cow because at the time, Combs wasn't recording as much. And so he was a producer. He didn't have hits at the time. So yes, Biggie was leaving the Bad Boy. Yeah, Biggie was out. Now, Biggie was married to Faith Evans.
Yes.
And if you remember, after Biggie died, there was the big song, I'll Be Missing You. And then you hear the woman singing. That's Faith Evans. That is Biggie's widow, right? Biggie was also, and it's public knowledge, having a relationship with Lil' Kim. Okay.
They don't like each other.
Oh, no. No.
They don't. They really don't. Okay.
So conjecture and word on the street is that Faith was mad enough about the affair. Now, some have alleged that Biggie was planning on divorcing her. I don't know anything about that. These are all conjecture and rumors. That part is. But we do know that that he and Lil' Kim were having an affair. It is alleged that Faith, that Combs came to Faith and said, "Look, I'm thinking about doing this. If you will assist me in making sure he's where he needs to be and keep your mouth shut and this, that, and the other, I'll make sure you and your child," because she and Biggie had a 10-year-old son at the time, or they had a son. I don't know exactly how old he was, but I'll make sure that he's taken care of for life, set up. He's out here running around with this woman, this woman, this woman. Right now, he is his only heir. I will make sure that your child will be the only heir. And yeah. And allegedly, she was like, "Cool, let's do this."
Okay, but then there was that song, "I'll Be Missing You," that
cold.
He was on and she was on. That's cold.
Do you
if
know
that's
that
true?
Yes.
If that's
Do you
true,
know
man,
that
cool.
that Combs pays Sting $2,000 a day in royalties for that song because he never asked to use it? Yeah.
Okay.
So now at some point, right? So now we've gotten to the biggie part. So victims or of alleged victims, people who were, when we say victims, it's either somebody who we know, like we know people who were no longer with us. So that is Tupac and Biggie.
Right.
All right. So now at some point, Sean Combs became the legal guardian of Usher.
Yep.
Sean Combs also having all these parties. It turns out Usher was kind of a few years ago, it came out that he gave somebody something that Ajax wouldn't wash off, and it was just not great.
And it was particularly nasty.
Yes. So he's but then history repeats itself. And then later on down the line, Justin Bieber's parents signed over guardianship when he was very young to Usher, who allowed Bieber to stay with Diddy.
Why did they do that?
Well, either money, a large chunk of it's money, because they promised to make him into this big superstar, which they did. But a lot of it is could also be because Bieber's Canadian, and his parents, I don't know how visas would work, whatnot. And if being a minor, it'd be a lot easier for him to get a visa if his guardian was American. I would assume. I would need a lawyer for assistance on that. But also, back in the second wave of the Mickey Mouse Club, Justin Timberlake's mother was Ryan Gosling's guardian for the same reason, because he was Canadian. And so it made it easier. Now, but she made sure that child was fed 3 times a day and put to bed in a nice warm bed and wasn't invited to a freak off. So, yes. Okay. Oh, Cat Shepherd. Let's see what Dave Grohl does. Yes. Now,
that's anyway. So there's a lot of talk right now about Bieber and people showing the clips of how he's been
over the years. That child was sexualized. By grown-ups. But we're not talking about the little believers, the little 12, 13, 14-year-old girls. We're talking about grown-ups who
touched him, kissed him, made him make references that were much more adult.
Yes, at 12,
even
13,
when he'd
14.
say, even when he said, "Look, the people who listen to me, they're really young." Oh yeah, but if you were going to be naked in one of your song videos, which one would it be?
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's hideous.
And when you know all of this, because again, Pluto just yeets everything up. It's Pluto, right? Yes. So all of this is, when you looking back in the day, when you look at Bieber and you're like, oh, this kid is so arrogant. And he's got all this stuff going on. He just, he kind of got on my nerves when he was a little kid. But now, dear God, I feel so bad for him. I mean, everybody he ever trusted sold him out for their own personal gain.
By the way, a small aside, I just want to make sure everybody's aware. Will Wheaton, who played Wesley Crusher on Star Trek Next Generation, the teenager that everyone was like, shut up, Wesley, he's such a brat, everybody hates him. No, he's a good guy. He was a good kid, and he was going home to staggering abuse.
Yeah.
So if you ever have a chance to see something about Will Wheaton, send him prayers and good stuff.
Yes.
So anyway, so these things are happening.
Yes. So now, Kat was wondering, while we're on this same tree branch before we hop over, Dave Grohl, how Dave fits into all this. So Dave, bless him, in the last few weeks have not been kind.
Dave Grohl was a member of Nirvana. He was the drummer.
Yes.
And then once Kurt was gone, he started the Foo Fighters.
Yes.
And he had a couple of girlfriends, like one does, and then eventually got married.
Well, this is his second marriage. His first marriage broke up because he was unfaithful. And then he got with a young woman who was in the band Veruca Salt, Louise. And then she's the one who he wrote Everlong for. If you like the Foo Fighters song Everlong, beautiful song. It's turned out that he cheated on her with Winona Ryder, which is also the reason it's also come out in the last couple of weeks that's why Pat Smear left the Foo Fighters in the late 90s for a while, is because he was tired of Dave's philandering. He wasn't gonna, yeah. Oh,
okay.
Fenzinberger, that's so sweet.
Thank you.
Yes. So, anyway, Dave, yeah. So Dave at one point is divorced. He's in between wives. He does Combs has a song. It's all about the Benjamins with a bunch of bad boy people. There's little Kim's on it. Nas is on there. Just a bunch of different people. And they did a rock remix with Dave Grohl. And it's up until now, I really liked that. So, anyway, Dave, now he hung out with a lot of them while they were doing all of this stuff. And at the time he was unmarried. I don't know what he went to and what he didn't go to. That is pure conjecture. All I'm going to say is he was in a lot of the right places at a lot of the right times. That is all I'm going to say. But then he also married a beautiful woman named Jordan, and they had 3 kids, and they've been together for 22 years, right at 22 years. And then he announced last week or the week before that he had a baby with another woman outside of his marriage.
He
had a baby born in July. Yes. Yeah. Now, which is a horrible thing to do, because you've been with this woman forever and she's, and I was sitting there and I was thinking about it and I was like, wow, because last year, Taylor Hawkins, his drummer for the Foo Fighters and his best friend, passed. And I was like, wow, that had to have been hard for him, especially after Kurt, and then his mother, who had always been his rock, he and his mother were super close. He used to take her on tour. So, and she'd be back there just hanging out with, Rage Against the Machine and whoever and making people cookies and doing the thing. So, no, Pamela, the woman is not a 20-year-old. It turns out that, because for a minute there, I was like, wow, there's no excuse for cheating on your wife. But I could logically see, because it also been rumored that he had fallen off the wagon through the stress of last year. And I could logically see how somebody would spiral. It doesn't make it right. It's not an excuse.
Right.
It's not an excuse. But you could sort of follow and say, okay, well, I mean, it doesn't make it right, but I could see it, trying to have some empathy for somebody. Now, it turns out he had an affair with a woman for 15 years. If some reports are to be believed. 15 years.
So he's been married for 22.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been having an affair with this other woman for 15 years.
His youngest daughter with his wife is 11. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's a level of scummery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we included Dave here because
Yuckadoo.
Okay.
And he was at the right place at the right time. So who knows?
Okay. All right. So if videos start coming out, you might see Dave, you might not. He might have been single, he might not.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. Okay. Yeah. How could you ever trust them against his old silver? Yeah. His wife is not wearing her wedding ring anymore.
Mm-mm. No. And I hope Jordan takes him for everything. So.
All right. So back to this.
Yes. So also, Kanye at one point in time, before he started recording, was a producer for Rockefeller Records, which is owned by Jay-Z. And he has also done a lot of things with Combs. So he's attached to both. And he has been known to go to said parties. All right. That's why Kanye's there. Jennifer Lopez was with Combs for a while. Anybody remembers the MTV Video Awards where she wore the Versace dress that cut down below her navel and whatnot when she was with him? Yeah. So not that long after that, though, they were at a club where there was a shooting. Okay. And right after that, they broke up. Now, conjecture, and I need to go back. My brain, Swiss cheese. If I remember correctly, I'm human. At one point in time, it was talked about how she had actually had, the gun had been in her purse. And she had actually had, now he could have asked her to carry it for him. Keep in mind, we know by the videos that have come out recently of what he did to his girlfriend, Cassie.
I don't know what we're talking about. Sorry, people won't know what we're talking about.
Okay, sorry. Combs and Lopez were at a club and there was a shooting. Okay. So people are saying that I can't remember if people were talking about it or if it's in documents related to the case. I cannot quite remember. But it has been said that she had the gun in her purse. Okay. Now, didn't she have something on her hands? Gunpowder on her hands, yes.
Okay.
So, now, remember, Combs is a very controlling individual. Video came out not that long ago of him beating an ex-girlfriend that he was with for 11 years in a hallway. Okay. So, if she was in an abusive situation and she was made to do stuff for him by physical, because it's him and her and all of his henchmen walking around and she's surrounded. I'm not saying that she did stuff of her own free will. I'm just saying this is what was said.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. Okay. Yes, right. So if you grab a gun or near the barrel, you will get gunpowder. Yeah. So it could be that she grabbed it after it was fired, whatever. I don't know. There's no telling. Yeah.
Right.
So, all right. Scooting along. Now also, Combs, I did not realize until I looked it up, has interesting, deep friendships with Ashton Kutcher, Leonardo DiCaprio, and the Kardashians. Khloe had a thing where she talked about a year or two ago, all the day-long parties that she attended and saw Bieber at and other folks. He would have been a child. A child.
Yeah.
So, moving right along. Go ahead.
How old was Rihanna when she was signed?
Oh, yeah. I was moving to Jay-Z next.
Sure. Go, please. Okay. Now we go on to Jay-Z.
Yes, so we're scooting right along, left to right. Now we've got Jay-Z, who, along with Damon Dash, formed Rockefeller Records. Now, Damon Dash did not stick around long with Jay-Z because they butted heads. Damon, if you're not familiar with him, he is the bald black gentleman that is on Shark Tank. He's a businessman. Sherry Bieber does go to church now. So he and his wife, they go to church, they have a new baby. He doesn't want anybody to be around his baby. Trust me, I hope he's getting the therapy that he needs. So moving on, Jay-Z and Damon Dash formed Rockefeller Records. Damon did not stay there long. Damon was engaged to Aaliyah. Now, for those who are not familiar,
up on your side.
Yes.
Up on your side.
Aaliyah.
Right
up top. Right. So Damon Dash and Aaliyah. Now, Aaliyah came on the scene as a protege of R. Kelly, who married her at the age of 15.
Yeah.
But she released an album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. He wrote the songs. Anyway, so Aaliyah was able to extract herself from R. Kelly with the help of Missy Elliott and Timbaland, who I adore. So Missy's free and clear. She was a very good, positive role model. So Aaliyah went on to get engaged to Damon Dash. Now, conjecture. This is a heavy conjecture. There are videos and videos and videos of people talking about this. You can go on a rabbit hole on YouTube should you want to do a deep dive. I know Damon Dash was on Shark Tank for a while. He might not be the same one that's there now, but he was at one point in time. Jay-Z dated Aaliyah, or Jay-Z wanted Aaliyah. Aaliyah was not into Jay-Z. Jay-Z really wanted Aaliyah. And then he felt this is before Beyonce. And then he felt super insulted when she would not only not date him, but she went with Damon, who was like his mortal enemy at the time. Okay, if I'm incorrect about that I got wrong. Okay, sorry, the Shark Tank guy. I thought it was the same guy. It's not. I will go back and double check that. I know he's a businessman, and I thought at one point in time it was the same guy. Draymond John. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for keeping me honest. I got sometimes my Swiss cheese brain gets a little mixed up, but anyway. All right, so Damon was with Aaliyah, and Jay-Z wanted Aaliyah. Aaliyah ended up dying in a plane crash, and for a little tiny plane that some people conjecture say it was made to do what it did. I'm not saying that. She filmed a video for the music. She filmed a video for the song "Rock the Boat," and they were leaving a little island in a little plane, and it went poof, like it crashed. And she and I don't know if there were any survivors, but there were only like 5 or 6 people on the plane. Yeah.
Nobody survived.
So, all right. So then Jay-Z went on to have a relationship, marry Beyonce.
How old was
Beyonce?
she?
Beyonce was barely legal. Barely. I mean, young. I want to say at the most 19. At the most. Yeah. So, there is a lot of conjecture that they, at least before they had kids, were involved, or Beyonce included in the parties. I don't know. I know that there's a lot of people who say that once it comes out, everything from all those tapes, that Jay-Z's pretty much done. That's the.
I'm hearing that too.
Yeah,
and I don't hear much. And I that's what I've heard too.
So, but yeah, just like I said, Beyonce was very young. Jay-Z was in his 30s when he and Beyonce. I mean, early 30s, but yeah. Oh, they met at 16. Phyllis Rowan says, "Yeah, when she was 16. Yeah, when she was 16. Old. Yeah,
Rihanna was 16 when she was signed.
Yeah. Jay-Z met and signed Rihanna in one night. There's an interview where he discusses this. She was 16 years old. She was brought to his office, and he kept her there until 3:00 in the morning and signed her that day.
Lovely.
Do with that information what you will. That's just stuff that they have both said in interviews. Moving right along in the chart of yuck, we're going to Cash Money Records, which is based in New Orleans, and it's run by Birdman. Cash Money Records had a lot of fame in the 99 and 2000s. And later on, like they say, Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, they're all from Cash Money. Lil Wayne, bless him, is sort of in the same boat that Bieber was. He was discovered as having an extreme amount of talent at a very young age. Okay? To the point to where Birdman pretty much took him on to raise him, if I'm not mistaken from what I've read, at the age of 11. Lil Wayne has done interviews where he discussed at the age of 11 where he was, and he called it, a rapping without the extra P. He was in in a closet. He was put in a closet with a young woman who was instructed to make him a man by Birdman at the age of 11. So,
Okay.
yeah. So Lil Wayne, bless. So that's why he's in blue. We have nothing against Lil Wayne.
No.
Nicki Minaj is a fine example of when you lay with dogs, you get fleas. So Nicki Minaj is also a protege of Birdman's. Nicki Minaj is also married to a convicted rapist, and her brother is a convicted child trafficker and rapist. And she is a Trumper at the moment because she got mad that Obama would not pardon her brother. Witty. So, well, no, the last part about the Nicki Minaj thing with her, they are all convicted. That there's paperwork for all that. So, yeah, Drake and Birdman are friends. You can do with that information what you will. Drake used to hang out with Sean Combs. You can do with that information what you will. I do know that the king of petty himself has been working on a documentary. That's Curtis 50 Cent Jackson has been working on a documentary on all of this with everything that he knows and getting as many people as he can and not whatever paperwork he can get his hands on with Netflix. So he's G Unit Studios is doing a documentary on this. So yeah, right. So Drake has been very highly questionable for a minute. I mean, he was in his 30s messaging Millie Bobby Brown when she was 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, he's being held without bail.
Mm-hmm.
Millions upon millions of dollars bail he offered. No. That's how much trouble he's in. He has recordings of these parties.
Mm-hmm.
So he has, for lack of a better term, potential compromise on all kinds of people.
Mm-hmm.
Even Trump and Melania went to these parties back in the day.
Several of them.
And there are pictures of Trump and Melania with this guy.
There's more pictures of Trump and Melania with Combs than there are of Trump and Melania with Epstein. Now, a lot of it may be because of where they were in relation to each other, because everybody was in New York. I get that. But
there are a lot of people in New York.
Yeah. Do with that information what you will.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, and here's where it all ties up. This is going to be in court for a while. The amount of video that was taken, like, we really need to send some good vibes and energy to the people who are having to go through all of this.
Oh,
yeah. The allegations involving young women, young men. It's not good. It's not good. Yeah. So, and again, Sage Scales, it's Sage Scales here mentioned that it's funny how you see all of this going on, but Eminem and his people, they're not involved in anything. That's right. And remember, 50 was a protege of Eminem. So, yeah. Oh, the amount of subpoenas. Oh, yeah. So Ashton Kutcher, it doesn't surprise me because he is besties or was besties with what's his face from that 70s show who was in jail for assault.
Masters? No.
Yes, Danny Masterson.
Danny Masterson. Yeah. Who
So,
Kushner and his wife Mila Kunis wrote letters talking about his stellar character. They were character references for Danny Masterson, who's in prison. I want to say 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
So this is
And
far reaching.
yeah.
Like it's because it's not just the rap community. Diddy had everybody. He had actors, politicians. So yeah, you really, it's one of those situations where you might end up losing your favorites at this point. So there's a lot of people in music where you're just going, I mean, you got to remember that, just try to remember that people that you admire in any industry, they're human and they're fallible. Now, that's no excuse, but let's not put them on pedestals, because the higher they are, the harder it is when they're knocked down.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, brought to the shakeup from Pluto and Aquarius. Well, remember, Aquarius rules fame. It rules the kind of technology of cameras and
Right.
all of. There are a lot of I've read repeatedly. There are a surprising number of famous people who are Aquarian or have heavy Aquarian influences in their charts. Mm-hmm. So Pluto's going to just plow straight through and just bring up all of this stuff. So.
Oh, and somebody, yes, Sean Combs' son. It's also worth mentioning that Nicki Minaj would escort Sean Combs' minor, like 13, 14, 50-year-old son. She would bring him as her escort to award shows and whatnot and to parties. Nicki Minaj would. So she hung out with all those people too.
Ew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had heard that Combs' mother was at some of those parties, which is David Garcia. Is Epstein connected? It'll come out if he is. I mean, if I think they ran their own organizations, but things overlap sometimes.
Yeah.
Alan, Trump can try denying knowing Combs. There's, again, many
ton of pictures.
Yeah. Yes, Mrs. Katara, Kim Porter's death. Kim Porter, she was an ex of Combs. Was she a wife or a girlfriend? My brain.
She was. Weren't they married?
I think they were married. Yeah.
How did she die?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Wife. Okay, Mrs. Katara. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
So
yeah.
So anyway, it's a tangled web that has been woven.
Yeah. And there's a lot more that's going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that we needed this. Because it can get very confusing very quickly about who knows whom, who signed with whom, who owes somebody something, what happened. So I hope this is the end of it. I hope I don't need to make another one or a bigger one. Something tells me. Oh, Phyllis Rowan says no married, engaged for a time. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is the end of it, but something tells me it isn't. Actually, let me read on this.
Also, am not on this chart. Bieber was handed to Scooter Braun through all this, who is also connected to all of these people. Scooter Braun is a horrible, horrible person. He's now no longer in the music industry, if I'm not mistaken. He purchased, again, this is not just a rap thing. He purchased the music rights and the label from Toby Keith, which included all of Taylor Swift's old masters, which is why she's re-released all of her stuff, Taylor's version, because he wouldn't let her have the rights to her own music. But this is also the people that abused Kesha, as you've got Scooter Braun, Dr. Luke, all that good stuff. Yeah, all of these are all tangled together. Yes, Carol, I also thought Aaliyah's death was odd. A little bit. Yeah. Grace School. You're welcome, sweetheart. So, yeah. Yes, many more people are involved, musicians, actors. Yep.
Sorry, I'm having.
Kim Porter died with questionable pneumonia. Very questionable because she was young and healthy.
So I'm having some trouble here with the,
You're good.
the lighting.
You're good.
Auto white balance should be on. Okay. All right. Leave that alone. World card. The good news is the parties are over. That's the good news.
Whew.
But I'll take this down because you need to see this.
Yes.
Card for the reading.
Mm-hmm.
Party.
Mm.
This is my vacation or retirement card, but in this version, there are all of these ladies. World. The parties are over. Chariot. Major Arcana. This has legs. This is a huge parade float. This is a huge thing that's going to go through. Ten of Pentacles, of the moneyed, of the dynasties, of the Page of Pentacles, of all the little people who were treated very, very badly. He had to have known. If he had half a brain in his head, he would have known it was inevitable. That this was going, that this could not continue, that this was going to, things were going to turn against him. This was going to get out. That ship, they knew, I mean, anybody with half a brain would have known, and I guess Sean Combs was too arrogant to care, that this ship is going to come in and it's going to be bad.
I had forgotten that Lisa Lopez of TLC was connected to Combs, Nettie.
Oh, gosh, that explains some things. Alan, that was the Four of Wands. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. And then remember, Chili of TLC was with Usher for the longest time. So, yeah.
There was a lot of gross. That's just gross. Chaos. There's just a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. So yeah, this is going to be a thing. Ew.
Yes, Alice, R. Kelly is definitely in prison. He will be there for quite a while.
Yay, as he should be.
Well, Michelle, Scooter Braun, yes, he also had a very tumultuous divorce, and it might be worth listening to the song Vigilante-ish by Taylor Swift for more on that. So,
but we don't think that she actually was the cause of his divorce, but it's quite a good song.
No, but I will say that Taylor Swift helped fund Kesha's legal stuff to get out of the Braun and Dr. Luke stuff when she was stuck under that contract. And yeah. Yeah, exactly. Ooh. Valerie, you had all these poor, struggling, talented young people trying to be discovered, and these sick people preyed on them all. That is absolutely correct.
Yep. Entertainment only YouTube. Yep.
Yes.
Agreed, Alan. All right. Well, I'm tired.
Yep.
That was a lot, but I'm glad we went through it. And thank you, Sarah.
No problem. For those who are wondering on any of this, you can look on ye old YouTube. Look for anything about 50 Cent and Cat Williams talking about 50, because they do what let me know talking about Diddy. So there's a lot of that. There you can even see a video where there's an interview of Diddy and sitting next to Mike Tyson, and he tried to put his hand on Mike Tyson's leg, and Tyson came about 3 feet off that couch. That's an interesting one. Yeah, there's stuff out there. So if you feel like going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. And then, you find out about the 70s and Bowie and
yeah, this is not
Steven
a unique
Tyler.
thing.
Yeah, Steven Tyler and
yeah. Yeah.
Page,
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Page. Yeah,
Mhm.
all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, but that's going to do it for us for today. But we'll both be back tomorrow. So thank you for being here. Hang in there. This things come to light so that they can be purged. We can say we can isolate the people who need to be isolated. We can help the victims that need to be helped, and we can get more decent people into positions of power.
That's right.
And that's the blessing of Pluto. So,
Absolutely.
all right. So take care. At 3 o'clock, we'll be over on the Creative Sprints channel. And other than that, we will see you right back here tomorrow. Thank you.